So I'm going to introduce Raul. So he is one of our trainers over at our fitness center, which is literally next door for anyone who doesn't know that we actually have a fitness center. He joined us, was it September or October last year? Somewhere
I think October, early October.
Early October, basically. Yeah. He joined our team to really help support us, kind of move fitness forward over there. We are very excited to have him here. We're excited to basically really get moving with our Move Right class. We also have boot camps that we've started this year as well too. So we're getting a lot of great positive feedback from people on that as well too. So basically, Raul, he's been a trainer as 22 years.
22, 23, I lost count.
Kind of like after it gets old, it's like 30.
I lost count.
So yeah, so he's been training for quite a while. He's trained pro athletes. I mean, he's been certified in just about everything you can imagine when it comes to fitness. He's also a health and wellness coach, so feel free to pick his brain on any sort of other question too that you might potentially have. So I know we're a little short on time, so we want to get kind of rolling quickly. So without further ado, this is Raul.
Thanks, Dr. Scott. Yeah, I've been fortunate, guys, to have accomplished, I've done quite a bit in my time in the fitness industry. I've just been really lucky and really fortunate. You know, I've done, like Dr. Scott said, anything from professional athletes to children. And other than my family, my greatest passion is to help people be well, you know, through nutrition, through fitness, and overall health. That is my greatest passion because, you know, in America today, you know, we live in the greatest country in the world. We really, truly do. But we are really bad at taking care of ourselves. And so, over the course of my time in this industry, I've learned that, and I've come to realize that we have it completely backwards in America. You know, we're so fixated on outward appearance only. You know, we assume that, you know, if we look in the mirror, and if we are thin, if we're nice and tight, if we're ripped, we assume we're healthy, right? So, but that's not necessarily the case. My philosophy is internal health. Internal health is number one. If we take care of the inside of our body through proper movement, okay, and we're going to talk a lot about that today, through proper movement, proper nutrition, proper attitude, proper mental attitude is huge. Then the inside of our bodies are going to be well, and then in turn the outside of our bodies are going to be well. So we need a paradigm shift in America today. We need to start focusing on the internal health, not so much external health, okay? So, you know, and I might say something today that challenges your traditional thinking of what you've learned over the course of time when it comes to health and wellness and things like that. And that's okay. That's okay, you know? But if there's something that I say, guys, that if it makes any kind of sense to you, and you're like, I wonder, yeah, then research it. There's lots of information out there that you can gather and educate yourselves. But so what I'm going to cover today, everybody has an outline, right? Okay. So what I'm going to talk about today is our bodies are designed to move, guys. We cannot sit still. If we sit still, meaning like if we're just over the course of time, months, years, if we're not active, we're gonna deteriorate. We're just gonna go downhill. Our bodies are designed to move. Physically and mentally, we have to incorporate, and over here, if you notice on the outline, we're going to talk about strength training, we're going to talk about aerobic exercise and flexibility. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that. I'm going to cover these things. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that. Over here in this little box here that you see, I'm going to talk about the big four, okay? Because the fuel that you put in your body, the foods that you eat are going to help you move right. Are going to help you move better. If you put bad fuel in your body, you're not going to be able to have as much benefit out of the movement part. So it's all tied together. Everything is together. You can't separate the two. Okay. So let's talk about strength training for a minute here. So strength training, guys. When I talk about strength training, there's lots of things that pop into people's head: lifting weights, bulking up, big muscles. Women typically stay away from strength training because they're afraid they're going to bulk up and develop large muscles. So everybody should be doing strength training, and everybody will benefit from strength training. Okay, and if you've worked with me, and a couple people here have worked with me, I like to say this: as long as we're alive, if you're trying, you're going to get results. The only time we stop making benefits is when we die. Then we have no hope. We're dead. But as long as we're alive and we're trying, you can get results from strength training. Okay? Does anybody know how many muscles are in the body? Roughly? There's roughly 640 muscles in the body. That's a lot of muscles. Right? Now, obviously, you know, some of them are tiny, some of them are bigger, you know. But we have muscle groups that we need to work on a daily basis to keep your strength up. So let's talk about some of the benefits of strength training. Bone strength. And I'm going to talk more about bones when we get into the alkalizing part of the workout. But obviously, osteoporosis is a real issue. All right, guys? So in order to keep your bones strong, weight training, it increases bone density, which will slow or reverse osteoporosis. Okay? We have to stress the muscles and the tendons, which in turn stress the bones. And that's going to help, keep your bones healthy and strong. Okay? Let's talk about the muscle mass. Number 2 there, increased muscle mass. Strength training will reduce the speed of muscle loss, which actually starts in your 20s. All right, so up until about age 25, our bodies are producing muscle. We're making muscle. After about 25, we start to lose muscle. Anybody here 25?
Close. Not me.
Yeah.
Pointing.
So,
Multiple.
right? I'm 25 times 2. You lose about half a pound of muscle a year, roughly, after 25 years old. Okay? So add that up. I'm 50. So if I don't do strength training, from my entire life, from 25 to now, I've lost about 12.5 pounds of muscle, roughly. Okay? So 1 pound of muscle, it depends on your age, your gender, you know, your height, all that stuff. But 1 pound of muscle burns somewhere, I want to say somewhere between 25, 30, 35 calories a day. So if you lose, do the math, 12.5 times 20, 35, you're looking at a couple of hundred calories, maybe more per day that your body's not burning anymore as a result of no strength training. And also, as we get older, unfortunately, our diets get worse. It doesn't get better. Our diets generally decline. So we're eating worse. We're losing more muscle. So that gap of health, and we start to gain weight, that gap just gets wider and wider. And that's why, as we get older, we deteriorate. So you've got to do the strength training part, guys, to keep the muscle on your body. Very, very important. Okay. Let's talk about number 3, better stability. Weight training will ensure stronger muscles, which means more stability. So the bones in your body are basically your frame for the body. How many bones are in the body? Anybody know? About 206, roughly, bones in the body. So the bones in the body are basically your frame. Your muscles are attached to your bones through tendons. So those muscles and those tendons and the bones all work together for stability, guys. So if your muscles are strong, you're going to have much better stability in your body, which means you won't fall as much. Your balance will be better. We're going to talk about balance in a little bit. But your balance will be better. Your overall stability is going to be much, much more improved. Okay? Improved functional fitness. Strength training makes everyday activities easier to perform. So to me, functional fitness is one of the most important components of strength training. Okay? Everyday activities, getting in and out of the car, getting in and out of bed, going up and down stairs at home or apartments or wherever, picking up your kids, picking up your grandkids, putting groceries up on a shelf, up high. You know, everyday activities get easier through strength training. So that is really, and as we get older, that's critical because we lose strength, we lose stability, we lose flexibility. But strength training will improve that, and you can reverse all that stuff, guys. You can make it better. You can improve. Everybody can improve. Like I said, as long as we're alive and we're trying, we will improve. We just have to, make progress. Okay. Here's another thing. In America today, we are a reactive society. What I mean by that is we wait for things to happen before we take action. Okay? Rather than being proactive and stay strong, stay positive, stay active, so you don't have these problems. You know, I went to a conference years and years ago, and a guy was talking about this, and he says, don't wait for things to happen to you. You happen to things. I love that. I thought that was awesome. You know, but let's be proactive. Let's take action. Let's be proactive. Let's make progress. Don't wait till you fall and break a bone. Don't wait till you're whatever to take action. Okay, it's much harder, guys, to be proactive. I'm sorry, to be reactive than to be proactive. Okay, so improve functional fitness, one of the most important components. Increase fat loss. Okay, I just said a minute ago that 1 pound of muscle burns roughly 20 to 30, 35 calories a day. So if you're adding muscle to your body's burning extra calories. Even when you sleep at night, your body's burning calories, which is a great thing. Even when you're sitting, you're resting, your metabolism is higher. So it'll help you lose fat. So strength training adds muscle to your body, which in turn burns more calories. Even during rest, your body burns more calories. So and ladies, I want to speak about the ladies thing because I know a lot, and I've had this over the course of my career all the time. I don't want to bulk up. I don't want to add a lot of muscle to my body because I don't want to, look like a man. So the number one factor in building muscles is the male hormone. Help me out. Testosterone. I had a mental block there. Testosterone. Women have very tiny amounts of testosterone. Unless you're taking synthetic, unless you're taking something, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Okay? So I wouldn't worry about the concept of bulking up. Plus, there's different ways of working out. Whether if you're focusing on more endurance, or if you're focusing on more strength, or if you want to work on more power, your strength training should be different based on what you're trying to accomplish. I don't know a lot of women in the course of my career. I haven't worked with a lot. Well, some of the professional athletes that I've worked with, that's a little different because they're at the level that they're at. That's a little different. But for the average person, we're not gonna be working out for hours a day. We're not gonna be, our life is not gonna be centered around our workouts. Our workouts are gonna be kind of an added thing on our daily basis to help us feel better, and so don't worry about the concept of adding too much weight training because you're gonna bulk up. It just simply doesn't happen. All right. So strength training, guys, critical. And I'm going to talk only for about 45 minutes, by the way, guys. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to ask some questions at the end. So if you have a question, jot it down and then shoot it at me when I get done. Okay. All right. Let's talk about aerobic exercise real quick. A huge component of fitness as well. If you want to be a fit person, guys, you have to have all three components. You can't separate. You can't take out any of them and be a whole person. You have to have every component of fitness. And cardiovascular fitness is another huge component of it. So reduces your health risk. Aerobic exercise reduces risk of obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, stroke, and even some cancers. Okay. Now I'll talk about more about these things when we talk about the alkalizing thing. But these are all what I call lifestyle diseases. Okay. These things don't have to happen. Just because your parents or your grandparents had these things does not mean that we're going to get it or that you're going to get it, okay? Like I was just saying, if we're proactive and trying to make ourselves better, then there's no need for us to be sick, okay? So reduces your health risk. There's a saying that goes, for as far as genetics is concerned, life, our society and your genetics load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. Okay? Think about that. Genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. You don't have to have diabetes if your parents had diabetes. You don't have to get it. You don't have to get cancer if your family got cancer. It doesn't have to happen. And plus, studies show that you can turn genes on and off. Okay? So genetics, I don't buy the genetic argument. I never have and I never will. Genetics is maybe 5%, at the most 6% of disease. Okay? So genetics is not an argument that is going to fly with me. Lifestyle, the way we live our lives, guys, is going to be the determining factor. So reduces your risk of, reduces your health risk, number one. Number two, helps you lose weight. Obviously, you know, when you have a deficit of 3,500 calories, you're gonna lose a pound of fat. So 3,500 calories is 1 pound of fat. When you have a deficit of that amount, you're gonna lose a pound of fat. So if you let's say you do cardiovascular exercise, you know, 20 minutes a day, just random number, you burn about 250 calories a day through cardiovascular, and of course your diet, you know, your diet has to be correct as well. We'll talk about that a little bit more at the end. But once you have a deficit of 3,500 calories, you're gonna lose a pound of fat. So that's how cardiovascular fitness helps you lose weight, okay? Plus, you're gonna get an afterburn component. Does everybody know what the afterburn is? So let me go back to the strength training part real quick here. So, because I meant to mention this. So the afterburn is when you get done with your workout, your body's not done burning calories, okay? Your body's gonna continue to burn calories for, you know, several hours after your workout. Strength training, your afterburn is going to be a little bit longer than cardiovascular exercise. But when you combine cardiovascular exercise with strength training, that's the best of both worlds. You do your strength training, you do your cardiovascular in the same workout, your afterburn is going to last pretty much, it could be almost all day long. So that means that your metabolism is higher, burning more calories all day long. So that's very, very important. So it definitely will help you lose weight. Cardiovascular exercise helps you definitely lose weight. All right, let's go to number 4. It helps keep your arteries clean. So aerobic exercise boosts HDL, which is the good cholesterol. It also helps lower the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. It also helps keep your arteries smooth and pliable. So when you're doing cardiovascular exercise, your blood vessels dilate. They get bigger, they get smaller. As you breathe, they dilate, you know, they get smaller. So that's critical, guys, for your arteries. Very, very important for your arteries to help keep them smooth on the inside. So one of the key components of, you know, everybody knows about clogged arteries and how that leads to heart attacks and strokes. Keeping the inner lining of the arteries smooth is critical. So that way, that when cholesterol comes in through the blood, it doesn't have anything to attach itself to. The reason why arteries get clogged is because the inside of our arteries get scarred. And they get scarred because we don't eat right, because we don't exercise. So the inner lining of our arteries gets scarred over time. So then as the cholesterol in the blood passes through our arteries, then that cholesterol, because they're scarred, has something to attach itself to. And over time, it just keeps building and just keeps building and just keeps building. And so then that's when we have a heart attack. And that's when we have the stroke, when it goes to the brain. So keeping the inner lining of the arteries is critical, okay? Aerobic exercise will help you do that because it expands, it gets smaller, it expands, and so that helps keep it pliable and keep it smooth on the inside. So very important cardiovascular exercise. It helps you live longer. Studies show people who do aerobic exercise at least 3 times per week live longer than those who don't. You know, there's, I'm just gonna have a sip of water. There's all these different things out there as to how long you should do aerobic exercise per day. You know, ideally, and you can ask 10 trainers, you may get 8 different answers, okay? But over the course of my time in this industry, for me, my recommendation is 30 minutes, okay? If you do at least, even if you do 15 to 20 minutes a day, that's still going to be very beneficial, okay? Who does not have 15, 20 minutes a day to go walk? Who doesn't have 15, 20 minutes a day to jump on an elliptical or a treadmill or whatever? You know, we do, guys. We do. We find the time to prioritize whatever's important to us. And that's a fact. That's just the truth. If it's important to you, you're going to find the time to get it done. The problem is it's just really low on our level of importance, you know? When we have a heart attack, it's going to be number 1, I guarantee it. But how about we don't wait till we have a heart attack? Why don't we take action now so we don't have that problem? Let's be proactive instead of reactive, okay? So let's talk about flexibility for a second. This is one of the ones that is really not talked about that much. flexibility is critical for our bodies, everybody. If your bodies are stiff and not flexible, and you're going to have a much harder time going through your daily activities. So flexibility, number one, decreased risk of injury. Flexibility will increase your range of motion. Your body will require less energy to make the same movements. Think about that. Your body will require less energy to make the same movements. That means your body will become more efficient. Okay, so that's really, really important. There's lots of things out there on flexibility. Lots of, you can get on the computer and Google flexibility. Yoga is a really good thing for that kind of thing. Pilates is another really good thing for flexibility. But it's critical, guys, to reduce the risk of injury. Okay. All right. Number two, increase blood flow and nutrients to muscle tissue. This allows for less joint pain and reduced risk of joint degeneration. So flexibility, the blood has a lot of nutrients. Okay. Think of the blood as a taxi service. It dumps off healthy things into our muscles, and it picks up waste products and it washes them away. So you get good things coming out, you get bad things coming in, the body flushes it, the liver processes everything, okay? So when you increase the blood flow through flexibility, your joints are going to be healthier because you're going to have a lot more nutrients in the joints, okay? You don't have to stretch for hours a day. If you take 10 minutes for a really nice little stretching routine a day, that's going to have a huge impact on your overall wellness. Okay, we're good. All right, let's talk about number three, reduced stress. Flexibility reduces stress by loosening muscles and relieving tension. It also releases endorphins in the brain that can cause a feeling of wellness. Okay, now this part right here, to me there's a psychological component with this part right here as far as reducing stress. And this is where I think meditation can help. Okay? If you're including a stretching routine with meditation. Does everybody do any kind of meditation? Does anybody do meditation? Awesome, very good. I don't know about you guys, I have to do guided meditation. Because if I'm just sitting there trying to meditate, my mind is just going all over the place. Everybody's different. I love the guidedness of it. I just focus on that. But that, right, guys, it's so powerful for the body. Studies show that meditating for 10 minutes a day can reduce your blood pressure. Okay, how simple is that? So just include some flexibility training with some meditation. It gives you a feeling of wellness. Powerful for the bodies. So here's the thing, guys. Everybody in this room, you guys are your own best doctor. Everybody in this room has the ability within ourselves to be our own best doctor. What I mean by that is take charge of your health. We have to be proactive. That's kind of my thing. Be proactive, take charge of your health, do the things that we have to do on a daily basis to be well, to move our bodies. Our bodies, like I was saying, our bodies are designed to move. We can't sit still, all right? So reducing stress is a huge one because stress is everywhere, everybody. We're not gonna be without stress. But here's the thing about stress. One more thing about stress. It's not necessarily the stressor that's the problem. Our reaction to the stress is the problem. Okay? Let's say you leave here today, you're driving down the road, and a policeman behind you, little red lights, blue lights, he pulls you over, right? And you see him come up, you look at the rearview mirror, you see him coming up behind you. How are you gonna, you have two ways to react. One way, oh my God, whatever, that's one way. Or you can be like, okay, it's all cool. Everything's cool. It's not the end of the world. Nothing, I'm going to talk to the guy. Everything's fine. At the end of the day, what does it really matter? So the reaction to the stressor is what's important, not the stress itself. Because I guarantee you, every person in this room, including myself, we have stress on a daily basis. There's some stressor that comes at us every single day, multiple times a day. But think about your reaction to the stress, guys, okay? That determines how well you're going to be, not the stressor itself. Okay. Greater strength. Flexibility increases strength by improving circulation and blood flow to the muscles. We kind of touched on that with the other one here. But when you stretch, you increase blood flow. And there, in turn, you increase benefits and you increase nutrients that come to the muscles. Okay? Let's go to number 5, production of synovial fluid. So synovial fluid is basically a lubricating fluid that's within our joints. As we get older, we tend to lose synovial fluid. We tend to kind of, we degenerate. So we tend to lose some of the synovial fluid that's in our bodies. But flexibility training will increase the synovial fluid. Okay? So that's really important for the body. It'll help keep you a lot more overall well. You know, the benefits of flexibility, well, for that matter, strength training and cardiovascular training, it's gradual, everybody. It's gradual. You're not gonna like overnight feel like this, like an amazing, complete difference. But it's gradual over time. Consistency is the key. You gotta be consistent on a daily basis. Do something. So one of the things that I do is Dr. Scott touched on it. I'm a holistic wellness and nutrition specialist. So holistic wellness has I call it the 3 pillars of holistic wellness. Number 1 is the physical, how we exercise, things like that. Number 2 is the psychological or the emotional component. And the third one is the spiritual component. So I like to tell people when I talk about this kind of stuff is, in order to be a whole person, you have to have one from each pillar on a daily basis to be a whole person. Same thing with this. In order to be a well person, a whole person, you have to have some sort of strength training, you have to have some kind of cardiovascular training, and you have to have some sort of flexibility training on a daily basis in order to really be making some good progress. Now, and people ask me all the time, so when I travel, what do I do when I travel? Because I don't have access to a gym, or I don't have access to any kind of equipment or anything like that. So there's no reason why we can't stay active, and there's no reason why we can't make progress when we travel. So I tell people, all you have to do is body weight stuff, things like push-ups and squats and crunches. Those 3 exercises right there are going to cover about 90% of the body. The push-ups themselves are one of the best, and if you work out with me, you've done push-ups, I guarantee it, because I think push-ups are one of the best exercises. So push-ups work, the upper body muscle groups, there's 5 of them, so push-ups works 4 of them. The only thing push-ups don't work really that much are biceps. So push-ups are a really, really good exercise to do on a daily basis, Squats is another one. Squats is going to work your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, pretty much everything in the lower body. So traveling, there's no reason why you can't move your body. No reason why you can't get some good benefit from exercise. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about, because we're talking about moving your body, right? We're talking about moving your body through these 3 components of fitness. But as I said when I first started talking is, unless you're putting the right fuel in your body, you're not going to have as much benefit from these things. So over here, if you look on the right in that little box, it says the big 4 to stay away from. So as it relates to wellness, okay, and I'm going to talk about more about the alkalizing acid thing, but the big 4, guys, to try to stay away from as much as possible, because these things are very acidic to the body. These things are very toxic to the body, okay? So the big 4 are sugar, wheat, dairy, and processed foods. In my view, those are the top 4 things to stay away from. Now, 90% of the American food budget, 90% of the American food budget goes to buy these 4 things right here, okay? Do me a favor. So next time you're at the grocery store and you're shopping for groceries, look at other people's carts and see what's in their carts. And then look at your cart, see what's in your cart. So I guarantee you, what do we buy? We buy milk, we buy bread, we buy juice, we buy macaroni and cheese, we buy, frozen dinners, what else? I don't know.
Sugar cereal.
Cereal, big one, exactly. Cereal's a big one that we get, right? So that's what we buy, that's what we do, So, and I guarantee you, this is the reason, that's the main reason why we are in such bad shape in this country. Guys, we have more people going to gyms in America than any other country in the world. We have more We spend more money on fitness in America than any other country in the world. But we're like one of the lowest as far as health. Exactly. Exactly. Your nutrition is about 70% of the success, okay? So 70% of the success that you're going to get from strength training, aerobic exercise, and flexibility is going to come from your nutrition. We have to move our bodies, absolutely. But nutrition is huge as it pertains to getting results. So sugar, wheat, dairy, processed foods. I'm just going to, I mean, some of these are obvious. Sugar, obviously, okay? The number one source of nutrition for cancer cells, guys, is sugar. Okay? So, and this is a topic for another talk. I'm not going to necessarily touch on this, but sugar, if you take the sugar out of your diet, and I'm not saying that it's going to, completely reverse your cancer immediately. I'm not saying that, but if you go to a holistic doctor today or an orthomolecular doctor today, orthomolecular nutrition, guys, is just basically using nutrition to heal the body. That's basically what it is. So if you go to one of these doctors today and you have cancer, probably one of the first things that they're going to do is take away all the sugar out of your diet. Okay? Because cancer cells love sugar. That's what they fuel on. That's what they feed on. So eliminating the sugar is huge for disease. Not only that, eliminating the sugar, you're going to lose weight like that without even trying if you eliminate the sugar out of your diet. So really important. Wheat is very inflammatory to the body. Okay, I'm not going to talk about wheat too much. If you have a specific question on that, I'll be happy to answer. But I want to mention dairy for a second because this is one of the ones that I get the most pushback off of people. Here's the problem with dairy, guys, that I see. There's lots of things that I see wrong with dairy, but here's the number one thing that I think is the wrong. So the body's pH, everybody has a pH in the body, okay? And I'll talk more about that in a second. But there's a pH scale from 0 to 14. 7 is neutral, okay? Anything below 7 is considered acidic. Anything above 7 is considered alkaline. So the body's most important liquid is probably the blood. The blood pH is critical for health. The blood pH has to maintain itself at about 7.364, so barely above 7, okay? And the blood pH cannot deviate from that. So what happens when the blood pH starts to get too low? So what happens is the body's a very smart machine. The body's going to protect itself as much as possible at all times. So the body starts to pull calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus out of the bones into the blood to get the blood pH back up. Okay, so these three minerals are very alkalizing minerals: calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. Okay, very alkalizing minerals. So now all of a sudden we've pulled those minerals out of the bones. So now our bones are losing calcium, and our bone health suffers. Okay, to me that's one of the biggest issues I have with dairy. Lots of natural sources of calcium out there. Celery, not celery, spinach, kale, broccoli, all these green things are loaded with calcium. So dairy is a problem, okay? Processed foods, obviously, everybody pretty much agrees that, processed foods is not good for you. So the importance of alkalizing the body, guys, okay, let's talk about that for just a second. Higher oxygen content in the body. So basically what it means to be more alkaline is that your oxygen levels are higher in the body. When your body's more acidic, your oxygen levels are a little bit lower, okay? So let me go back for just a second and talk about as far as fat loss is concerned. So the fat cells in the body are where the toxins are stored. All right, so if your body's too acidic, it's going to be very difficult to lose weight because your fat cell, the body's not going to let go of the fat cells to be metabolized. It's a protective mechanism that the body has. So you might be working out hard and you might be busting your tail, in the gym, fitness center, working out, and you're not getting as much progress as you think you should be. Might be because your body's too acidic and your fat cells just aren't going to be burned, okay? So if you alkalize your body more, it's going to be easier to lose weight because there's higher oxygen content in the body. Okay. Another thing about the higher oxygen content in the body is it's very difficult to get sick. It's almost impossible to get sick if your oxygen levels are high. Okay. Disease cannot thrive in an oxygen environment. It's like when you take a fish out of the water and you bring it up into the air, it suffocates, it dies. Disease cannot live in an oxygen environment. So I always tell people this, I'm like, if you're sick, if you've got something going on with your body, here's some tips to alkalize your body, okay? So lemon water is a really, really strong thing to do to alkalize your body, okay? So drink a lot of lemon water. A couple of things about that is, the teeth you can have an issue with your teeth if you drink too much lemon water. Another thing that you can do if you don't want the lemons is baking soda. Baking soda is very alkalizing. So if you take like a teaspoon of baking soda and you put it in a liter of water and drink that, okay? Throughout the day, obviously you're not going to drink a liter of water at one time. Throughout the day, that's another thing that's going to really help. The body's about 70% water, as it is. So if you're drinking water with lemon, fresh lemon, and I'm not talking about the little plastic yellow lemon at the store with the fake lemon juice in it. That's not what I'm talking about. Fresh lemons. Cut a lemon up in half, squeeze that juice, put that in your water and drink that. Okay, very, very important. Very simple trick that you can do. Something else that you can do to alkalize your body is wheatgrass. Does everybody here do wheatgrass? No? Do me a favor. Leave here today, go get some wheatgrass and start drinking wheatgrass. Look at her face. That's funny. Wheatgrass, to me, it's nature's perfect food. It's extremely, extremely powerful for the body. Okay, my wife Patricia. So I got her to drink wheatgrass with back a long time ago. I said, I want you to drink some wheatgrass. I want you to taste this, and she's like, no, whatever, no, But I said, just please drink it. I just want you to just drink it. And so she did, and I don't know, an hour later, I would swear she had 10 cups of coffee. She was bouncing off the wall. She was like, is all that infusion of oxygen in your body, the energy that it gives you, okay? It's so powerful. Wheatgrass is extremely alkalizing. If you're not used to drinking wheatgrass, and nobody here raised their hand when I asked it, so I'm assuming nobody drinks wheatgrass, I would start out with a small amount because it does taste pretty grassy, not gonna lie, but I'm telling you right now, guys, powerful. Everybody should do wheatgrass at least twice a day. At least twice a day.
Okay. That's the good part of the wheat. It is the top of the wheat.
Wheat's
bad, but wheatgrass is good.
Oh, the wheatgrass is powerful. The wheatgrass it's not like, obviously it's not like the grass that you outside. The wheatgrass comes from the sprouts of wheat, right? So you get these little sprouts. Have you gone to a juice bar or something and they have these flats of wheatgrass there? Have you seen those? That's basically what it is. So they shake that off and they put it through a little, but you can buy powder. I buy the powder kind. So it comes with a little scoop in it, and just put a little scoop. You can also put wheatgrass in smoothies.
And then you don't know you're drinking it.
Oh no, it's actually it's green,
Yeah, but you don't taste it.
But here's something that's a really, really good drink, guys. Like if you take a really good breakfast, is if you do some spinach or some kale, put it in there, put a banana in there, a little scoop of wheatgrass, handful of raw nuts like almonds or something like that, some water and some vegetable-based protein powder, mix that up, boom, perfect. That's like a perfect meal right there, here's another thing about alkalizing your body that it's not really, that obvious, is your thoughts, is our mental attitude, Are we one of these people that's a positive thinker? Are you a glass half full kind of person or a glass half empty kind of person, basically? Positive attitude, positive thinking is huge for alkalizing the body, very important. The mind-body connection is huge, okay? When we get up in the morning, we have a choice. All right, is it gonna be a good day or is it gonna be a bad day? Am I gonna have a good attitude or am I gonna have a bad attitude? Okay? you know, and going back to what I was saying about the stress thing, you know, it's our choice. It's our reaction to, you know, somebody may come up to you and they upset you, they get you mad. You have a choice on how to react. We have a choice on how we're going to react towards that person or thing or whatever, guys. But attitude, mental attitude is huge for the body, okay? And I mentioned it's hard to get sick because of the amount of oxygen. So I want you to Google, guys. I want you to research the alkalizing thing. Because to me, it's hugely important. To me, that's the foundation of health. Okay, keeping the body's pH where it needs to be. Everything goes from that. You know, we've talked about moving our bodies through strength training and cardiovascular and flexibility. Your diet, alkalizing your body, will maximize the movements that we're trying to accomplish. Okay, so it's really, really important, guys, that we can't separate the two. It's together. We have to keep those things together to be a whole, to be a well person overall. Okay, so does any, see, I know Bob does, Cindy does. Does anybody else go to the fitness center on a regular basis? No?
I did once. I did. I used to, yeah.
So, does anybody work out on a regular basis? Okay, so we try to, so here's the thing, guys. There's lots of gyms out there, there's lots of places to work out, there's lots of fitness concepts, there's lots of ideas out there, and in my 20 plus years in the fitness industry, I've seen just about everything there is to do, okay, in fitness. One of the reasons I decided to work here because Dr. Scott and Dr. Leah, this is a holistic wellness center, okay? When body and balance, right? I love that name. That's a complete name, okay? Because what we do here is we're trying to get your body in balance. We're trying to make your body whole. And one of the components of that is fitness, obviously, okay? So what makes us different? Why are we different than any other concept? Why are we different than any other fitness facility out there? So if you look on there, posture-based. So you'll see, if you go to a gym today, you might see people doing exercises. Here's one. I mean, I love when I see guys doing bicep curls. They're like, they're swinging the body like this, and they're like, man, they're gonna kill themselves. Okay. One of the things that we do, we focus on your posture. Okay, we get your posture right before we perform the exercise. Okay, so for the people that go to the fitness center now, we have what we call our posture prep. We run you through a series of exercises to get balance in the body, to work your core, okay? And that's really important. We're posture-based fitness. So we're gonna create better posture in your body before we go through our motions of our exercises, okay? Number 2 is built on progressions. So we're not the kind of place that you're not gonna come in there and we're not gonna just throw a bunch of exercises at you, we're not gonna kill you, okay? We're gonna progress you. So when you come in here to Body and Balance, you get a wellness exam, you get a wellness score, right? You get all that good stuff. Then we're gonna find out where you're at. When you come in here, we're gonna find out where you're at, and then we're gonna progress. We're gonna start you there, but we're gonna progress you, little by little, okay? And that's a key component of wellness, everybody, because so many times, and I've seen this. I've worked in gyms, and I've worked in many places where a trainer gets a new client, and they just kill them right from the beginning. I'm like, no, you can't do that. You have to find out where they're at, and then you have to progress them, okay? Because number 1, you're gonna hurt somebody. Number 2, they're gonna hate you, I mean, I don't know what you guys is, when you think of personal trainers, what goes into, what are you thinking about? Probably like stand over you with a whip, give me one more, that's not what we do, okay? We're gonna find out where you're at, we're gonna progress you, we're gonna build your strength, we're gonna build your stamina, and we're gonna progress you, okay? So that every time when you do that wellness score, that's better every single time. That's the key, right? And then we're doctor-based and driven. So Dr. Scott and Dr. Leah and the trainers, we communicate with each other, So And several of you, you guys have come into a workout, you hand me a note, and on that note is some instructions from Dr. Scott or Dr. Leah. Vice versa, sometimes I will, as we're working out, if I see something, I will say, here's a note for Dr. Scott or Dr. Leah, but it's driven and directed by the doctors, okay? And then we're over there supporting what Dr. Scott and Dr. Leah do. So once again, we're not just it's not just a fitness center where you go and you just go work out, we work in conjunction with each other, because what we're trying to do is make you a better person, make you a whole person, make you a well person overall. We're trying to create balance in your body and balance, right? That sounded kind of cool. I didn't even plan that, it just came out. But, so, I'm gonna stop talking because it's about 10 till. In a few minutes, we're gonna go over there and do a little workout for those of you who want to do a little workout. But before we do that, does anybody have any questions about anything?
I have one.
Yes.
You talked about what the body does when it's too acidic. What happens if you over-alkalize?
Well, that's not good either.
Now, what are the changes that take place?
When you over-alkalize the body, you can stress the liver a little bit too much, and the liver processes everything, okay? So the liver takes a hit when you over-alkalize. You have a very narrow range, okay? I mentioned 7 is neutral. You want to be just above 7. So to test your pH, if you go to the drugstore, they have something called litmus paper, okay? I recommend getting some litmus paper and testing your pH throughout the day to see where you're at, okay? You can test it through your saliva, through your urine, so very important to do that on a regular basis. If you're too acidic, obviously, you can't be on either extreme. You can't be 14 or you can't be 0. We'll be dead, So I guess that's another problem, is you have to have balance. Just like anything else in life, you have to have balance. Balance is key, so critical.
So if you're using those pH strips to test your water that you're drinking, whether it's your tap water or whatever, and then you want to amend that, let's say it comes in at whatever, 7, neutral, but you want to alkalize it and you're going to use baking soda. Where do you want to get it to? Because they turn different colors. Yeah. Like 7.5 or.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know how high the water's going to go if you add, it's not going to take it too high. It's not going to take it, because the ratio of baking soda to water or lemon to water is so, 1 liter of water
So
versus
anywhere,
a little
if it
bit.
tests anywhere between like 7 and 8.
Just above
probably
7,
good. Just above
7.3, 7.4, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
That would probably be, good. But it's such, the first thing in the morning, guys, when you get up in the morning, here's a trick that you should do first thing in the morning. Drink a warm cup of lemon water, okay? Before you eat anything. Because here's the thing, we get up in the morning, the first thing we do, most people, what do? We drink coffee, right? We drink coffee, so we're introducing an acid. Our bodies are more acidic in the morning than pretty much at any other time of the day, depending on, that depends, but it's pretty much, for the most part, we're more acidic in the morning. So the first thing we do is we drink coffee, we're making it even worse. But the first thing we should do is, I would drink a cup of warm lemon water. That's going to start to alkalize the body, start to hydrate the body, and that warm water is going to start to activate your intestines, okay? And we haven't talked about this, and that's a conversation for another day, but how regular are you? Critical for health. Critical, okay? Because through urine, through our how regular you are, those are ways to get rid of toxins. So sweating, going to the bathroom, those kinds of things, we get rid of toxins that way as well. So really, really important. So anybody else have any questions?
You can combine the flexibility and the strength training part sort of in your overall, what you do in the gym.
Oh, absolutely.
If your goal is, like mine, is to just get more flexible.
Right.
You can do stuff that's still gonna build muscle mass without making yourself huge.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you know this because you work out over there. So after every workout, we go through a series of stretches. you know? Because when you work out, you contract your muscle fibers contract, right? They shorten, you know? You know, it's important to kind of stretch those muscles as the muscles back out, you know, release tension in your muscles, and just kind of get that body back to basic again. So, but you can definitely incorporate stretching in your routine, absolutely. Yes?
It's a good way to start your morning when you first get up, you know, because as you age, you get stiffer.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good routine, you know, short routine or something, not to overdo, but just to
Right.
get your body.
Just at home,
Yeah.
just when you're at home. You know, I honestly, if you have the ability to go for like a short walk, you know, even if it's 5-10 minutes, and then do a few stretches, you know, one of the best stretches I call it's called the full body stretch, and over there we do it on the TRX, and you've done it. But if you don't have a TRX, so here's what you do. It's a great stretch. I'm not gonna do it because the camera won't be down there, so I'm just gonna tell you. If you're laying down on the floor, and you just reach back with your arms behind your head, both arms behind your head, and you just stretch those arms out as far as you can, okay? And you think about stretching your legs out as far as you can and reaching back as far as you can. And you take a couple of deep breaths. You inhale through your nose and you exhale through your mouth really slowly. And you just hold it there for a few seconds, and then relax, and then do that again. That is an amazing stretch, guys. It'll get arms, it'll get core, it'll get upper body. Full body stretch. Go do a short little walk if you can't. Maybe do a few squats. You know, just increase your blood flow, increase your heart rate for a little bit. Wake your body up, you know, naturally, rather than, and you know, all this caffeine that we do on a daily basis. And then do a little bit of stretching. You know, 10 minutes in the morning before you leave the house. If you got to go to work, get up 10 minutes earlier. You know, it'll be worth it for how much better you're gonna feel. You know, so very important, guys. Listen, we have to. Like I was saying at the beginning, if we don't move, we're gonna deteriorate. Our bodies are designed to move. Our bodies are designed to be active. Okay, because if we don't move our bodies, we're going downhill. I guarantee it. We're not designed to get sick. Our bodies are designed to be well. We get sick with the choices that we make, you know? And I always tell people, I'm like, you know, if you get the flu or something or whatever, you know, what we have to do is take responsibility and say, what did I do to myself to cause this? And then take action, you know? But ideally, we're being proactive so that these things don't happen. It's gonna happen. We can't live in a bubble. You know, we have environmental toxins, you know, we have, everything, the foods that we eat, you know, lotions, deodorants, perfumes, shampoos, you know, all those things are absorbed through the skin. The skin is a very elastic organ, okay? You know, we have stuff coming at us on a daily basis from all over the place. It's almost like, oh my gosh, you know, we're not gonna win, but you can, okay? Just be proactive, do the things that you have to do on a daily basis. Do your strength training, guys, do your flexibility, do your cardiovascular. Please, you have to do these things on a daily basis. Eat right. Here's a cool thing that you should do. The 7 most alkalizing foods, okay? Spinach, kale, cucumbers, celery, avocados, peppers. There's one more. Broccoli. That's it. Those are the 7 most alkalizing vegetables. Take those 7 things, make a big salad out of it every day.
Repeat those again, please.
I hope I remember them. Spinach, kale, broccoli, celery, cucumbers, peppers, avocado. So those are awesome things to eat on a daily basis. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop. It's 11. Yes.
I've got one just quick question. My mother was a waitress at 60. I mean, she moved constantly, fueled by coffee. Didn't eat good, but she moved constantly. At 65, she retired. She got a recliner. She sat and discovered television, which she never watched.
Right.
It was amazing. It was like, oh my gosh, she's aged 20 years. What is the atrophy time to your body when like you're sick. I broke my leg, I had to sit, I couldn't move. What is that atrophy of the muscles? I mean, how fast does it happen?
It happens, I mean, the older we get, the quicker it happens.
Right.
I can't give you a specific, I don't know a specific
Right,
number,
but it's.
but as we age, we atrophy quicker.
Yeah.
So remember, I just said earlier, at age 25, you begin to lose muscle, about a half a pound of muscle a year. But that's after age 25. As we get older, we tend to lose muscle. If we don't stay active, we lose muscle maybe a little bit quicker. You know, so yeah, it doesn't take long. You know, after about 10 days or so, we begin to lose the effects of fitness. You're not going to lose everything. If you've been working out on a daily basis or on a regular basis for a long time, and you make some really good progress, you've got some really good benefits out of it. After about 10 days, you begin to lose. You're not going to lose everything, obviously, in 10 days. But after 10 days, you start to kind of lose a little bit. Yeah, you start to decline. Your fitness level starts to go down a little bit every day. So, I mean, it's good to take a break from fitness. It is good to take a break from fitness every now and then because it's like anything else. You need a break from it every now and then. I recommend people to take a break every now and then. You know, but yeah, you begin to lose pretty quickly. You know, I don't know exactly, at the rate, but the older we get, the quicker we lose.
Well, yeah, and 2 months of a boot and a scooter is like, oh my gosh, my body felt like it was done.
Right. I absolutely. Okay. Who's ready for a workout? Anybody? Who's going over to the fitness center? All right, we got a few. Cool. So, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys coming today. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you got this. If you just take one thing or two, even if you just take a couple of things and apply it to your daily life, and try to make progress, okay? And be proactive every day and making progress. And you've got to move your body. That's really the message that we're trying to send today. Move your body, okay? And put the right fuel in your body, and chances are you're gonna be well. So, all right. So let's head out and let's head over to the fitness center, guys, and let's do a little workout.